Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, FA Well Centers. Let's go over today the top 3 things you can do to help your digestion. This is crucial for so many people out there. Digestion is a key part of health, and it's a key part, if you're not digesting, of disease. So here are some of the things. We have digestion starts in the mouth, and it actually can even start in the nose, and this is why it's so important to cook your food, to smell, just having that sensation of smell. You can start salivating. Saliva is one of the first places to start the digestion process. You start salivating, you start digesting that food, it starts going down the esophagus into the stomach. The stomach produces stomach acid. It starts breaking down that food after it gets to a certain pH level. It goes through the stomach into the small intestine where we absorb a lot of those nutrients. We have the enzyme production come out from there. Once it goes through that small intestine, it's the longest part of that digestive tract. It goes into the large intestine, and then from the large intestine, it pulls out some liquid. It's where our good bacteria is, and we prepare it for elimination. So many of you guys are having digestion issues, but you've got to know why, and you've got to know why you're having these issues. So here is, hey Miriam in Germany, great to see you. Here's the deal. Here's optimal digestion. And let me know, drop down below, let me know if you guys are having optimal digestion. Digestion, when it is working the best, it should be like this. So you wake up, within the first hour or so, you go to the bathroom, you're hungry, you eat, and you don't think about your digestion until you have to go to the bathroom again. Hey Barb, you're not thinking about gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, reflux, any type of gurgling, pain, cramping, diarrhea, constipation. Any of those things are not normal, optimal digestion. If you're having any of those, you've got to figure out why, because it is causing other damage. I guarantee that's part of the problem. Danny Behar 76. It's because of the medication. What medications are you taking? I'd love to hear and give you some ideas there. So here, let's start at the top. You want to salivate, you want to chew your food, and I'm not, this isn't even part of the 3 tips, but just start with this. You need to chew your food a lot. You need to get that saliva, mush it in with the food, breaking it down, especially for carbohydrates, starches, things like that. If you hold a piece of bread long enough in your mouth, it's going to actually start tasting sweet because you're breaking down those carbohydrates into glucose, into sugar. So you're breaking that down, and then it goes down your esophagus, and you need to take small enough swallows that you're not needing a bunch of fluid to push that down. So Adderall and Vyvanse, the Adderall, number 1 question there would be, why are you taking Adderall in the first place? And have you got a brain map, and are you doing neurofeedback? If not, then absolutely you got to go down that path. You got to fix the why you're taking those so that they don't damage that gut lining, etc. So you've got to chew small enough swallows so that you're not needing to drink a bunch of water and gush that down. In the stomach, that's where that stomach acid takes place. So if you are drinking a bunch of fluid, this is actually number 1 thing that we look at is don't drink fluids with your meals. And that's the big thing that we look at. If you're drinking fluids with your meals, more than a couple ounces of liquid, whether that's water or wine or iced tea or soda or whatever, you are diluting your stomach acid. So the stomach acid pH level should be somewhere 1.5 to 3. And water, most liquids are around 7. And so the big thing that we look at is if you're pouring a bunch of fluid into that stomach, if you're drinking a bunch and you drink at the all-you-can-drink iced tea place, and you drink that with your big old burger, your burger is going to be sitting in iced tea, basically. It's not going to be breaking it down. It's not going to be doing that. Emily here, I'm taking enzymes for 2 months now, and I notice a difference in my health. So Emily, do some of these tricks as well, because really, you shouldn't have to take enzymes. Short term, we'll put people on enzymes, but you should not need to take them long term. So Yeah, Danny, the depression, absolutely. Get a brain map done and look into neurofeedback. If you need help with that, we can definitely help you with that. So the first thing you want to do is to not drink fluids with your meals. It's going to be hard for some people, and they'll ask. I was talking about this on TikTok the other day, and people are like, "How on earth do I do that? I'm always drinking fluids with my meals." And it's like, chew more, chew longer. Smaller bites and smaller swallows. So Amy, remember, Amy said no enzymes even if you don't have a gallbladder. So enzymes are different than gallbladder. The gallbladder holds onto bile. So after it comes out of, food comes out of the stomach, and food has to reach a certain pH level in the stomach. If it doesn't, then it sits there and it percolates and it ferments and you feel gas, bloating, all of those things. And so if we're not getting acidic enough in the stomach, it's not going to move through into that small intestine. And that's a huge, huge problem that we look at, because so many people are taking antacids and all these things because they think they're making too much acid, but it's actually too little acid that's going on. So as we stress and as we're underage, and give me a thumbs up if any of you guys are doing either one of those, as you stress and as you age, you are not going to be making enough stomach acid. So what do you need to do? You need to calm down before eating your meal, and you need to stop getting older. Well, the alternative to getting older is dying, so I don't want you to die. But you need to eat in a relaxed environment, and you need to get the stomach the best possible chance it can to digest, and that's to not dilute that stomach acid. Jessica, I've had post-COVID gastritis for 3 months. I've been taking Pepcid on and off, and now I'm having what I think is gallbladder pain and hair loss. I'm wondering if it's from the meds. So it absolutely could be affected from that. So most people, the gastritis, remember, why is that stomach inflamed in the first place? One of the things that we look at is in the stomach, you can get what's called H. pylori, and it's a bacteria that damages that gut lining. So for most people, though, if they take stomach acid support, you're going to actually break down foods better by getting the stomach more acidic. And that's why some people, they'll do apple cider vinegar before a meal, they'll do lemon juice and things like that to get it more acidic. But the best thing you can do is actually take betaine hydrochloride, and that can make a big, big difference on there. But now you're having what I think is gallbladder pain. So one of the big things that I'd be looking at is your sleep cycle, because gallbladder is most active between 11 and 1 at night. And if you're up at that time, if you're not sleeping well, your gallbladder is not going to dump like it needs to, and you're going to have some issues in there. Emily, but for how long should I take the enzyme? So, Emily, I would say, for 2, 3, 4 months is going to be the max. If you're having to take any type of digestive support indefinitely, you're not fixing the why. You're not calming it down. So start with these today, Emily, and you're going to see some changes. So one, and I'll even go back higher. So let's go, you need to chew more. So I'm saying 25 to 30 chews per bite. It's, my kids get annoyed with me and they're like, Dad, why are you chewing so much? I can hear you breathing. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm working on my digestion, and that is crucial. Step 2 is going to be to not drink fluids with your meals, and that's going to help with that dilution process. And going in line with that is going to be eating in a relaxed environment. So you want to eat in a calm, relaxed environment. Close your computer, turn off your TV, breathe, pray, relax before eating, and get into a calm state. And that's going to allow your body to actually kick out those enzymes, kick out that stomach acid way better than any pill you can take. So you've got to calm it down. And that's even the value of cooking your meal and of smelling and doing a little taste of different things. You're getting all those juices flowing in there, absolutely. So can we do a brain map for an overseas patient? Let me know where you're located. Send us a direct message, and we'll see if there's anybody locally that we can hook you guys up with. Feeling nauseous when I eat. I have duodenal ulcers and gallstones. Could that be it? Hi from Nova Scotia. Hi Hazel, good to see you. So when we look at that feeling of nausea when you eat and those ulcers, you've got to look at H. pylori. So in your blood work, you want to look at white blood cell count. If it's low, that's usually a chronic condition. And if your neutrophils are over 58, that's usually bacterial. Very good sign that it is H. pylori. So we've got to do kill off. We've got to build up that lining. Remember, 80% of H. pylori is actually in the small intestine, which is the duodenum. Most people think about ulcers and H. pylori as a stomach thing, but actually 80% of it is located in the small intestine. So we've got to look at that small intestine side, got to look at that killing off the H. pylori, bringing in the good bacteria, and then doing some healing of that gut lining as well. So the gallstones, there are some good flushes out there that you can do as well. I had COVID last week. This week I'm having loose stools from the past 3 days. Don't know if it's COVID related, but would a probiotic help? Yes. So my favorite one, we've got 225 billion in this packet of probiotics, and it's actually guaranteed to slow down diarrhea within its 2 weeks window. And if not, it's a money back guarantee on that one. So let us know, we can get you that one. Hello there. How long should you wait after eating before drinking something? Great question. Watching on YouTube out there. If you have not seen our YouTube channel, just F8 Well Centers, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of videos on there as well. So I would like you at least 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after, but pay attention. So if you're digesting and then you drink a big glass of water or whatever, and it feels like it just sits there longer, slows down anything, then you need to wait longer. And it depends on the size of the meal. And number three thing here that we're going to talk about is proper food combining. So if you're combining your foods inappropriately, then you definitely want to wait even longer, because that food's going to sit in the stomach longer. So proper food combining looks at keeping your starches and your proteins separate. So traditional American fare, hamburger on a bun, the pancakes and eggs, or eggs and toast, anything like that. You've got Mexican dishes, you've got Italian dishes, you've got all these things where it's a big starch and a big protein, and you're eating them together, and neither one digests like it should. So you eat vegetables with your proteins and good fats, and you're going to digest so much better. If you combine those inappropriately, it's pretty simple. Just do do chicken breast and broccoli and half an avocado, and see how well your digestion goes. Maybe if you've got real bad, you got to make sure you cook that broccoli really into mushy. But then next time you do it, you add a bunch of rice, or you add a couple pieces of bread or whatever, and I guarantee you are going to feel different in that digestion. It's going to sit there longer with the starch in there. So combining both those proteins and carbs together is not a good plan. So again, let's recap. You need to chew 25 to 30 times per bite. Chew, 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 chew. And your family, friends, whatever, they're going to get annoyed with you, but you have to do it for your digestion. With that, you're not going to be drinking fluids with your meals, because you're going to dilute that stomach acid. With that, then you're going to be eating in a relaxed environment, because you've got to shut it down. You've got to calm things down. And then with that, you're going to be combining your foods properly and keeping those proteins and starches separate. Yes, let's go here. Jess, can you pop the stomach support up here, the link for that from the Well store? So the stomach support is the betaine hydrochloride. So you want to start taking one with each meal, and then you go up until you feel a little bit of a burning in the stomach. So that might be at 2 or 3 or 4, but that's how you know you're getting enough stomach acid. Some people might need 6, but if they're only taking 1, it's not going to make any difference. So the betaine hydrochloride, the HCl, is going to be basically an enzyme for the stomach. It's going to give you more stomach acid, even though so many people are being told to take an antacid. You actually need more stomach acid. So if you're taking an antacid, you are inhibiting digestion lower down in your digestive tract there. Jessica, I did take an at-home blood test for H. pylori and it was negative. Do you know how accurate these tests are? There's no perfect H. pylori test. I'd say 50-50, Jessica. So, I would not base anything off of that. Look at your white blood cell count. Look at your neutrophils. If you have those blood work markers, pop it down below and I'll let you know if I think there may be some bacteria going on there as well. Hazel, I have prescription for sucralfate and from my duodenal ulcer. Thoughts? Again, whether you're taking the meds or not, I'm not going to tell you to take the meds or not with those prescriptions. But what I am going to tell you is you need to make sure that you're making enough stomach acid. You need to make sure that you're killing off H. pylori. You need to make sure that you're taking marshmallow root, aloe, glutamine, as many of these healing, soothing things as you can, because the meds aren't going to fix anything. So Marla, yes, we do sell supplements. Just go ahead and put down the WellStore web address on there. Advice for consistency: loose and bloody stools with recurring hemorrhoids. Leah, one of the things that we look at with hemorrhoids is that a lot of times that's an adrenal issue, meaning the adrenals, they give tone to our blood vessels, and if somebody has loose blood vessels, that's usually because they have some adrenal issues going on as well. If you have those loose and bloody stools, very good indication that you have damage in that gut lining, and there may be some colitis, there may be some Crohn's, some type of inflammatory process. You've got to take a step back. You've got to work on killing off bad microbiome, building up good microbiome, healing up a lot of things. There's some major shifts that need to happen in that gut there. Landon, got staph infection. Doctor wanted to put me on antibiotic. I declined to keep my gut healthy and went for topical. Any other options to help? It depends on where the staph infection is. I would go with the oil of oregano, the oregano max, and I would do like three times a day. You may have already done that one, Landon, but I would do that again. That's really good systemic as well. It's a great antibacterial, and would be a good place to start as well. But yeah, let me know if you need any help on that, Landon. Shoot us a message. And second, we had a couple more comments here. What about taking baking soda, a teaspoon dissolved in water instead of meds? Works for me and seems to be long lasting. Is it harmful? No, the baking soda should be fine, but really get to what is it actually doing, and is it actually just calming down some inflammation? Is it actually healing anything? And that's where you've got to dig deep into what is actually going on and what's causing this damage in the first place, and why do you need to take that? Emily, is enzymes good for food sensitivities? Whenever I eat eggs, my throat or neck started to feel weird, like there's lots of inflammation. If you're having that type of reaction with a food, I would not just take an enzyme and go, oh good, the reaction kind of went down. I would not do that. I would say stay away from that food for now, calm down the inflammation, and then you could add it back in later. And yeah, Jessica, white blood cell count 10.4, neutrophils 71.6. I don't like white blood cell count over 8. I don't like neutrophils over 58. So that is a pretty major bacterial infection you have going on. It's acute. It's like, man, we've got this infection going on, but I mean that is intense. I would definitely, that oregano max that Jessica just put up there. I would jump in, do three times a day on that. Come in with some heavy duty probiotics. Probiotic 225 would be great after that. And yeah, and then just some of the gut lining support. You can do glutamine, you can do marshmallow root, aloe, and things like that. So great questions, guys. I got to jump, but do these things now. If you're having digestion issues, ask us questions, even if you're watching later. And I just want you guys to feel good. I want your digestion to feel great. I want you to feel really good, and you can do it if you put the time and energy into your digestion. So Michelle, great to see you, getting some blood work going there. And gluten-free, dairy-free, this is Jan. And they constipated, which I've never had a problem with before. What can I do to help? Make sure you're getting enough water in there, and make sure you're getting enough vegetables to get that fiber in there, Jan.